fancy intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, I guess. Star Trek Fleet Command fans, you got 2.5 more days to finish this event. In this video, I'm going to cover two topics. Number one, we're going to give you the answers to the Hoshi and Phlox event because I do really enjoy these events. It's actually Star Trek lore, and it's like they take the time to actually talk about Star Trek, which I really enjoy. And then the second part of this video is going to be a little bit of a rant and a little bit of frustration because it goes back to something I talked about. Gosh, what about a year and a half? I'm not gonna put the thumbnail on the screen, but I made a video about standards and I'm gonna go on a rant about something. So stay tuned for that. Watch the second half of the video if you want that. First half of the video, let's give you the answers to this trivia before I go on my frustration rant. Number one, your question is going to be, if you're going to try to embrace new worlds, you must try to embrace ideas. So you might immediately want to go to culture. Understandable. But ideas is the quote. And I love the Star Trek Enterprise. I love any of the lore-friendly things they add to the game. So you need to go destroy one hostile in Tulun to provide proof that this actually works. How about I actually go do that? Well, I think it's this one. Yeah, there we go. That's the one that's in Tulun. So we're going to go and chase down this Orion ship, this Orion hostile, and take it out. So again, I do really like when they take the time to make lore-friendly stuff because it feels like so many things in Star Trek aren't lore-friendly and make no sense. Like the fact that the NX-01 came out and it's stronger than the Enterprise from the Kelvin timeline, even though the Kelvin timeline benefited from Borg technology because of the Neurotica, whatever. Point being, there's the answer. and I enjoy when the lore-friendly stuff is accurate. So that's the answer to number one. D, you want to go hit a hostile in Tulun. Next up is number two. So we're going to hop back into the Hoshi and Phlox trivia. Go to question number two. And we're going to see how many languages is Hoshi able to speak by the end of her career. Now, this is incredibly, ridiculously impressive, but 86 mine one raw ore. That's a lot of languages. Like, I speak one language and a very small amount of French, and then I recognize some German words. So, yeah. I'm going to hop on this little G2 ore node because you should only have to mine one raw ore, and it shouldn't matter what type. Hop off. And there we go. There's our completion event. So we get our Enterprise coins and we continue to work through that as we get more event store currency for an event store that admittedly is lacking a little bit. But we did get the Borg cube added in and hopefully more things get added in before it's wrapped up. Remember, always save your event store currency until the very end. That is the basic logic we've been pushing for a long time in this game. Always save your currency. All right. Some of Phlox's degrees are hematology, psychiatry, dentistry, and anybody remember? If you do, I'm going to tell you the answer anyway. Botanical pharmacology. So now we need to destroy a hostile in Uridia for number 3. So I can roll my R's. It's so fancy. All right. Here is Uridia. I've got my coronar here. We're going to hit another Orion ship, and we're going to look at all the different things that apparently I am stronger than because lore friendly. All right, so there's your completion for number 3. We'll go ahead and jump into number 4, and then we'll go into number 5, and then finally we'll go into the rant. So jumping into number 4 of the trivia for those looking for the answers, which species once captured Hoshi Sato? And that's going to be the Xindi. Obviously, the main villain for almost the entirety of Star Trek Enterprise is the Xindi. Technically, there are others like the Suliban, but the Xindi. Basically the answer. So you're going to destroy one hostile in Risa. Now, did I actually remember to put a hostile? I don't think I did. We're going to have to go jump to Risa real quick, and that's okay. I'll go ahead and share the final answer with you while we warp on over there, because apparently I decided to not go. So Risa is going to wrap up number 4, and then number 5, go ahead and give you the answer. It's B, and it's another mining option. So we're going to jump back into the Phlox and Hoshi trivia, because you can do these out of order. And this is going to be when the whole crew was in stasis for 4 days, which crew member accompanied Phlox. This is actually a really good episode. If you haven't watched it, you should go watch Star Trek Enterprise if you are a Star Trek fan. That's going to be T'Pol. So you need to go mine one par steel. T'Pol accompanied, because Vulcans have better, a higher constitution. So let's go ahead and finish this one out real quick. Hit another Orion. The whole theme here is basically all the hostiles are baby hostiles from the very beginning of the game, so everybody can easily complete. And then we're going to go mine one par steel in this random system. And there we go. That should wrap us up. And that should finish out our rewards and our event for this SMS. And again, you have the entirety of the weekend to complete it. So if you need the answers, there you go. Everything should be finished, finito, wrapped up. Enjoy. You just have some more event store currency. Now, let's talk about why I'm irritated. And I'm irritated about lack of standards. So here's what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to look at this and go, wow, Scopely took event store currency out of ticket events. And they did. But it's one of those things like your immediate reaction as a player is going to go, oh, well, they're just trying to sell more event store currency. And the sad truth of it is, it's not the answer. And that's what frustrates me, though, because if that was the answer, at least it's like you know what? They're greedy. Instead, it's a mixture of one, you do have people who complain about not getting enough materials in a month. And then also, here's a bad habit that Scopely has, and this goes back to SOPs, so your operating procedures. They have a really bad habit of copying, pasting things from previous months into the next month. And this isn't like a singular Arc Runner thing. This is literally a Scopely thing where they'll do this all the freaking time. And we have to tell them, hey, you need to stop doing that because this is wrong or this is outdated. And now it's affecting the ticket system. Now, there's a mix of reasons why this can happen. All right, but it goes back to the main point that I made, feels like 2 years ago. That was a big complaint for me. Standards. Like, you can put up with easier things like, you know, money grabs. Let's just call them what they are. There are things that have come out that are absolutely money grabs. There are packs that I think have value and packs that just don't. There's probably most of the packs in the store have almost no value to the average player. I'm sure there's somebody out there who will buy them. The average player, they have no real value. I mean, the fact that International Women's Day is currently being celebrated by selling $100 packs is just, gah. But then you have to deal with, for lack of a better word, because I am not very good at this, I am not great at being, you know, diplomatic or politically correct, ineptitude. And where you get into a month where we know 4 years, event stores, we know tickets are going to be event store currency. In fact, we teach players, hey, you might want to save your tickets if you're a free-to-play player. That way you get more event store currency in the event store months by simply running all these ticket events. 3 ticket events, that's 9 in a Friday through Saturday, Sunday set. You get a lot more event store currency to go after those things that maybe you don't have, like Archer, Trip Tucker, the Board Cube, your Voyager, your Monavine, your Meridian, your everything else. And yet, here we go. Now, the good news, I guess, is for those players who are happy, you get more materials this month. Yay, more materials. And my argument isn't even that, like, hey, that's a bad idea. One, you could have communicated, and two, are you going to make up that with more event store currency somewhere else? If you wanted to give the players more materials in a month, you could have made an event that gave them more materials instead of taking something that people have been planning with for years to get more event store currency. Talking fast, I apologize. I'm trying to make sure we get everything crammed into one video. So the reason I'm pissed is like the standard and the goalpost is always moving. Who needs a goalie when you've got the goalpost over at Scopely? Like, it moves on its own. Very annoying. Even Lionel Messi's going to struggle. Yeah, Messi's better than Ronaldo. And that is the extent of my soccer/international football knowledge. The point being, it's getting really tired because you have to deal with so many other things. Like, as a content creator, I'm trying to work with all these players to get them able to complete a 4th loop in 4 months. There is fatigue in the game. There is people frustrated. You need to be on your P's and Q's, Scope. And they're not. And it's a mixture of things. Like, I wish the answer was so easy as like, yep, they just want to make money. But that's the frustrating part. Even the reasons that are there, like, so avoidable. Like, a great example. And I told you it's a rant, so I'm going to ramble a little. Take the Silent Hunter hostiles. I actually talked to somebody in game design. It's like, dude, this is the dumbest idea ever. You want to make a new hostile and give another loop that isn't needed. Here's how it's not needed. I'll give you a quick, literally 30 seconds, how you make the same thing, add content to the game, and still have the same monetization path without adding a new loop. Let me show you exactly how to do it. You want a hard hostile, difficult to take down that players have to work towards? Yeah, it's called freebooters. Freebooters also need a boost because all the high-level players who are begging for content, by the way, because you're 60+ players, everybody's like, all the free-to-play are like, oh man, all this content is for spenders. literally the high-end part of the game has not had content for 4 months, they've been asking for freebooters to get expanded because they can't do their dailies with freebooters because they don't exist. There are no like level 65 freebooters. Instead of creating a brand new hostile and a brand new area of the game and all this other stuff, you could have done the same thing by expanding the X-Borg freebooters. And I promise you people would have moaned a hell of a lot less. But instead you made a completely new loop and just did 3 straight loops, 4 if you count wave defense. And that's the irritation. Like so many problems are predictable. You know they're coming. You know the frustration is going to be there. And you're like, you just turn right here. It's literally easier. Here we are today. That's my rant. My rant is make the tickets better. My rant is, hey, next week, give people the event store currency. And hey, stop doing this stuff. Hope this video helped. And I needed to get a little off my chest before the live stream later because I don't want my live stream to be 4 hours of me ranting. I'd rather get it out now. So let me know what you think, how you're doing. And honestly, don't even talk about the game. I want to comment down below. How is your mental health doing? How is your family? How are your kids? How's work? Tell me how you're doing as a person, because at the end of the day, community is everything, and that matters a hell of a lot more. Live long and plunder. Stay safe with their Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek Fleet Command video. And yeah, I'm done ranting.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.